Welcome, YouTube subscribers. Before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Since that's out of the way, his opponent, stated 5'10", 235 pounds. He has a winning record of 100 wins, 0 losses, 100 by the way of knockout. He hails from the East Coast, the YouTube streets, heavyweight champion of the world, Eternal the MC. Boom! Before I get into this video clip, finally, like The Rock, finally, somebody woke up and realized that Cynthia G is full of shit and is a cult leader. I just watched a video. Salute to Simply Stephanie for exposing and speaking about Cynthia, and what you said is 100% correct. So salute to you. So without further ado, let's get into this shit finally.
Saw in the comments on Cynthia G's video how they were like comparing her to Harriet Tubman.
Who, Cynthia G?
Yup, they were comparing her to Harriet Tubman.
What, they really don't know the history of Harriet Tubman, and clearly they haven't been learning what I've been learning about Cynthia this past 3 days on YouTube. Like, I had no idea that she was one of these like pro-black women that was on here fighting white people, talking about white racism, keeping black men down. And I had no idea she was doing this stuff before she turned into the person she is now. I just learned all this stuff within a couple of days. So I want to know, if they're comparing her to Harriet Tubman, what literally has she ever done for black women? Because we know specifically what Harriet Tubman has done. Harriet Tubman put her life on the line. She literally physically relocated black people from slavery to freedom. All Cynthia G is doing is talking shit on YouTube about the same black man I believe she has a daughter for, and who she continues to fuck. Because when she was speaking to that woman who was you put the recording of on your live today, she was talking to that lady horribly. Like,
she was.
Her answer was, when the woman asked her, so why don't you stop sleeping with them? Because she don't choose to, right?
Yeah.
And that she told us we have to take it or leave it. That's where she stands. You absolutely right. We do have to take it or leave it, because none of us could tell you what you personally do. But all of us have an opinion as to how we view and judge you based off of how you move. And you trying to tell us to do something you're not even doing yourself.
Exactly.
That's the crazy shit. You don't even practice what you preach. And then you coming down on women who are in the same position as you, a single mother, right? By a dusty, but yet you got all this so-called smoke for people who just trying to make their way and do the best they can. But because of whatever her fucking hangups are, and she does have hangups, I don't know if y'all realize that or not. When I have watched a few of her lives in the past, and she talks about her family, her childhood, her father, etc., there are a lot of issues there with her. So, but just because she comes on YouTube and says that she has a degree in psychology, and everybody just eats that up like nobody's ever seen it, who even gives a fuck if it's real? But the fact of the matter is, you're not a licensed practicing psychiatrist, psychologist, or sociologist. You're none of those things. So you're not qualified to do any of the things that you're doing on YouTube. What you are doing is the same thing anybody could do.
You'll do, right.
Talking shit about men who did something wrong to you. That's all it is. That's really all it is. Because if you ever notice, whenever she's talking about the men, right, it's always in reference to what the men like in those particular women, whatever it may be. If they choosing white women because they don't like black women, if they choosing whatever it is, and they're talking bad about black women, it always somehow mirrors what she has let out about herself personally online. And if you don't follow what I'm saying, think about it and go back and watch some of those lives where she has discussed the relationships with her sisters and the men they choose, the relationships her dad had with, the relationship her father had with the mom, How I think even at one point she said they were homeless and etc. The father was a drug addict, all this type of stuff. You telling me that that woman doesn't have any lingering post-traumatic effects from that fucking childhood and that life?